In a twist that no one saw coming, Rangers have sent shockwaves through their fan base and even caught club insiders off guard by pulling out of a transfer deal that up until just a few days ago looked all but sealed. The move represents a sudden U-turn from the club, with recent developments behind the scenes prompting the Ibrox side to reevaluate their plans. With the summer transfer window now open and a vital campaign on the horizon, this unexpected decision suggests a potential shift in recruitment strategy, or possibly a reaction to unforeseen complications that have thrown a spanner in the works. Either way, it's a moment that could end up defining Rangers' entire summer in terms of player movement and squad building. Just last week, everything was pointing towards the arrival of Kamar, the highly rated teenage winger from Paris. Saint-Germain. Reports from France were confident that a deal was not just close, but virtually done, with the young talent said to be keen on the move to Glasgow. The 18-year-old, who has impressed across both flanks in PSG's academy and featured for France, at under 18 level, looked like the kind of smart high-upside signing that could add flair and energy to Rangers' wide areas. He'd faced top-level youth opposition, including matches against the likes of England, Portugal, and Switzerland. And there was a genuine belief he could make the jump to senior football in Scotland. But now, all of a sudden, Rangers have pulled the plug, and all signs suggest the move is completely off the table. According to French media, the reason behind this dramatic change of heart lies in the recent ownership transition at Ibrox. Initial talks with Kamar are believed to have taken place before the arrival of Andrew Kavanagh and the 49ers Enterprises Group. Now, with new people calling the shots behind the scenes, it appears the transfer priorities have shifted dramatically. That's left Kamar, who reportedly had his heart set on the switch, facing an uncertain future just weeks before his contract in Paris officially expires. PSG had offered him a professional deal, but everything pointed towards a fresh start abroad. Until now. This move, or rather this non-move, is already sending ripples through Rangers' summer plans. It's not just about missing out on one exciting youngster, it's about the message it sends. A new regime, a new manager, and a new sporting director are clearly looking to take things in a different direction. Kevin Thelwell, who only began his role officially last week, is expected to work closely with manager Russell Martin and technical director Dan Peretti to reshape the squad. And if the decision to drop Kamar reflects a realignment of their recruitment blueprint, then we might be in for several more surprises before the window closes. Of course, Kamar isn't the only name being discussed. Rangers are actively monitoring multiple targets both domestically and abroad as Martin gets to work reshaping a team that fell short of expectations last season. One player drawing attention is Kwame Poku, a 23-year-old winger out of contract at Peterborough United. Poku had a standout campaign in League One, registering 12 goals and 8 assists in just 27 matches. A tricky left-footed right winger, he's been on the radar of several English Championship clubs, with interest also coming from France and Germany. Rangers are among the teams reportedly exploring a potential move, though competition is stiff. Poku's rise hasn't gone unnoticed. Having joined Peterborough from Colchester United for around £250,000 at the age of 19, he's steadily developed into one of the most exciting wide players outside of the top flight. Last season, he played a key role in Peterborough's EFL Trophy triumph, even helping his side defeat Birmingham City at Wembley. He's also made his international debut for Ghana and is seen as a player with a bright future, one who could make an immediate impact at a club like Rangers. But there's a slight hitch. A hamstring injury over the Christmas period last year prevented Peterborough from cashing in on him during the January window. Now, with his contract expiring, he's set to leave on a free transfer, though Peterborough will be entitled to a tribunal fee given his age and development status. Speaking on his podcast, Peterborough chairman Dara McAnthony claimed that Poku might not make the immediate leap to the Premier League, but he sees the winger reaching that level in the near future. According to him, the next move for Poku could end up being worth £30 million if everything clicks into place. While that kind of fee seems a world away from Rangers' current business model, there's no doubt Poku represents the kind of signing that could excite supporters and bring real quality to the flanks, with Václav Černý unlikely to return. To Ibrox after his loan spell from Wolfsburg, the club needs to reinforce those wide areas. And fast! Churn contributed heavily last season with 27 goal involvements in over 50 appearances, but securing him on a permanent deal looks out of reach. That opens the door for players like Poku or someone entirely different to come in and fill that creative void. Rangers' transfer strategy is clearly still taking shape under the new regime, with Russell Martin now officially in the managerial. Seed and Thelwell beginning to impose his structure behind the scenes, fans should expect a more deliberate and perhaps cautious start to the window. That doesn't mean they're not active though. The club has also been linked with a move for experienced centre-back Connor Cody. The 32-year-old defender has 1 year left on his deal at Leicester City and could bring leadership and top-level experience to a squad that still feels short of steel at the back. Reports also suggest Rangers are exploring attacking options with names like Dor Turgeman of Maccabi Tel Aviv and Mattia Freegan of Westerlo coming up in recent days. Freegan in particular looks like an intriguing possibility. The Croatian striker, currently lighting it up in Belgium and representing his country at under-21 level, is understood to be looking for a step up in competition. Despite being under contract until 2028, he's expected to move this summer, and Rangers are said to be among the front runners. With 15 goal contributions this past season, Freegan is the kind of striker who could offer something different up front, especially with doubts continuing to swirl around the future of Cyril Desires. Desires, despite notching a decent tally, last term remains a divisive figure among the support. While he has his moments, consistency has been lacking, and with speculation mounting about a possible departure, Martin knows he can't afford to head into the new season without strong alternatives. The pressure is on to build a squad that can truly challenge for the title, and not just on paper. Martin has made it clear that he wants to put his own stamp on this group, and the decisions made in the coming weeks will be pivotal. That's why the sudden collapse of the Kamar deal is so fascinating. It's not just a change of mind, it's a statement, a signal that Rangers are not rushing into anything. Every target, every name, every potential signing is going to be vetted under the new regime, and if it doesn't fit the vision, it won't happen. Whether that vision pays off or not, only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the transfer drama at Ibrox is only just getting started. Rangers fans are watching with growing anticipation as the summer window unfolds and the club begins laying the foundations for a team that can finally break Celtic's dominance. It's clear that this transfer window is not just about plugging gaps. It's about reshaping the entire squad identity and doing so under the guidance of a brand new leadership group, with Russell Martin at the helm flanked by Kevin Thelwell. And Dan Perurdi, the recruitment philosophy is being recalibrated in real time. That process naturally comes with surprises, and the sudden decision to abandon the Umar Kamar deal is just one example of the ruthless approach being adopted at Ibrox. The new management team seems determined to avoid the mistakes of recent years. Mistakes that saw the club invest in players who failed to hit the required levels or lacked the profile needed to compete on multiple fronts. It's not just about raw talent anymore, it's about system fit mentality and long-term potential. And for a club that desperately needs both silverware and financial sustainability, every signing now carries enormous weight. There's no room for sentiment or rush decisions. If a deal doesn't line up with the overall plan, it gets dropped. Simple as that. Behind the scenes, Russell Martin has wasted no time asserting his vision. His reputation for building possession-based progressive football sides was one of the reasons he was chosen, and he's already identifying which players match that style and which don't. He's not coming into this job to tinker. He's coming to rebuild. One of his first big tasks is deciding what kind of front line he wants. Rangers can't afford another season relying on inconsistent output from forwards who blow hot and cold. That's why interest in a player like Mattia Freegan makes so much sense. Freegan offers more than just goals. He's mobile, aggressive, and intelligent with his movement, traits that make him ideal for a pressing system. He's coming off a strong year in Belgium with Westerlo, and has shown maturity beyond his years for the Croatian under-21 side. Rangers might face competition for his signature, but the fact they're in the mix shows a clear intent to bring in players with both current ability and future upside. The hope is that Friggin, or a player of his profile, could offer the kind of attacking edge that Rangers have lacked in big moments. Elsewhere, the defensive rebuild is another area being closely watched, with uncertainty still surrounding the futures of several defenders, including Connor Goldson and Ben Davis. The need for a reliable, experienced centre-back is clear. That's where Connor Cody enters the conversation. The former Wolves captain brings not only leadership and a commanding presence, but also the ability to play out from the back, something Martin highly values. Cody's availability with just a year left on his Leicester deal makes this a potentially smart piece of business if Rangers can pull it off. But it's not just new faces being discussed. There are also decisions to be made about who should move on. Several players are expected to leave Ibrox this summer, either because they don't fit Martin's plans or because their performances haven't justified their wages. That kind of churn is natural with a new regime in place, and while it can be unsettling for fans, it's also necessary if the club wants to climb back to the top. Players like Sam Lammers, who spent last season out on loan, are unlikely to return, and others may be sold to create space and raise funds. One subplot worth keeping an eye on is the situation with Flynn Downs, the Southampton midfielder who previously worked with Martin at Swansea and Saints has been linked with a reunion at Ibrox. Downs is known for his work rate, ball retention, and tenacity in midfield, qualities that could greatly benefit Rangers, especially if key players like Ryan Jack or John Lundstrom depart. The connection with Martin makes this one plausible, and it could end up being one of the more understated but impactful signings of the summer if it materializes. It's also impossible to talk about Rangers' rebuild without acknowledging the growing influence of youth development in the club's wider strategy. For years, supporters have called for more academy integration, and under this new leadership, that may finally become a reality. There's a belief that with the right coaching and a clear pathway, young players can not only contribute to the first team, but become valuable assets down the line. Names like Bailey Rice, Zach Lovelace, and Robbie Fraser are being mentioned more frequently, and preseason could be a huge opportunity for one or two of them to break through. Of course, all of this is happening under the looming pressure of Champions League qualification. The first legs of the qualifiers are set for mid-July, and Martin has made it clear he wants at least one or two signings in before then. That means the next few weeks are absolutely critical. The board has to move decisively, but also intelligently. There's no room for another scattergun window. Every signing needs to make sense within a larger plan, a plan that balances immediate impact with long-term growth. The atmosphere around Ibrox right now is a mix of cautious optimism and impatient energy. Supporters are desperate to see progress, but they also understand that real change takes time. What they want more than anything is a sense that the club is moving in the right direction, that there's a coherent vision, and that the mistakes of the past won't be repeated. The early signs under Martin and Thelwell suggest a more methodical, data-driven approach to recruitment, and while that might mean fewer flashy signings, it could also mean a more stable and competitive team when the season kicks off. It's worth noting that the Scottish Premiership landscape is changing too. Other clubs are strengthening, and the days of Rangers and Celtic running unchallenged may soon be over. That means Rangers can't afford to slip. The pressure to perform is higher than ever, and that starts with smart recruitment. The transfer window is always unpredictable, but with the right moves this summer could mark the start of something genuinely exciting at Ibrox. The foundations are being laid. Now it's time to build. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers from Ibrox are starting to stir as the transfer window edges closer, and it seems the Rangers might be planning some significant changes to their squad. Rumors have been circulating that Scott Wright, KIERAN, HAGI, and Sam Lammers could be on the chopping block, potentially making way for fresh faces to shake up the team's dynamics. Scott Wright, once hailed for his pace and promise, has struggled to find consistent form and regular game time under the current regime. The whispers suggest that his future at the club is uncertain, with Rangers possibly looking to cash in or loan him out to give him the chance to reignite his career elsewhere. Fans will no doubt be split, with some hoping he gets another crack at proving his worth, while others feel it's time to move on. Kieran Dowell's situation has also been the subject of quiet speculation. After arriving with high expectations, the midfielder hasn't quite delivered the impact many anticipated. His technical skill is undeniable, but questions remain about his ability to adapt to the physical demands of the Scottish Premiership. The murmur is that Rangers might be willing to let him leave, either permanently or on loan, as they seek to rebalance the squad and possibly bring in players more suited to Stephen Davis's style. Perhaps most intriguing is the talk around Giannis. HAGI, son of Romanian legend Gheorghe Hagi. Giannis arrived at Rangers with much fanfare, but it seems he hasn't fully cemented his place in the starting frill. His flair and creativity are undeniable assets, yet the consistency seems to be missing. Rumors suggest that Rangers could be ready to part ways if the right offer comes in, sparking debate among supporters about whether cutting ties now would be wise or premature. Then there's Sam Lammers, the Dutch striker who joined with hopes of bolstering Rangers' attack. Yet his time in Scotland has been patchy, with limited chances to shine in front of goal. Speculation is rife that Lammers might be heading for the exit door as Rangers look for a more clinical finisher or a different type of forward to lead the line. Of course, none of this is confirmed, but the murmurings from Ibrox insiders are growing louder. The club may well be gearing up for a summer overhaul, trimming the squad to free up funds and reshape the team ahead of another push for domestic and European success. For now, fans can only watch and wonder whether these names will indeed be parting ways with Rangers or if the whispers will simply fade away into the Scottish mist. Whatever happens, the coming weeks promise plenty of drama and intrigue at one of Scotland's biggest football institutions. Greetings, fans! Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.